Hello and welcome back to Sommelier, your tastemaker for every little thing. My name is Bria, and today we are behind the bar to make some of your favorite whiskey drinks. I don't know about you, but me personally, I find some of these names of the drinks at the bar that I hear other people ordering to be very mysterious and confusing. I did not know what an old fashioned was when I first started my wine sommelier journey. I did not know what a mint julep was. All of these names sounded very exciting and mysterious, but I had no idea what it is that was actually in the drinks people were ordering. So I decided to find out what some of my favorite whiskey drinks, or the whiskey drinks that I've heard the most, around the most, are, what's in them, and also make them for you so you can try them out for yourself at home, or you know what you're ordering next time you're at the bar and you ask for a whiskey drink. So we're gonna be talking about 4 of the most popular whiskey drinks today. We're gonna be talking about an old fashioned, we're gonna be talking about a mint julep, we're gonna be talking about a whiskey sour, and finally we're gonna be talking about a whiskey highball. So those are the 4, in my opinion, most popular whiskey drinks. And if you tuned into my last episode about whiskey, you'll know the difference between a whiskey, a bourbon, and a Tennessee whiskey. And while I know that there are other whiskeys out there, there's Irish whiskey, there's Canadian whiskey, there's lots, but for the purposes of today's conversation, we're just gonna be talking about these 3. And also, you can also hear more about Sir Davis if you're interested. For those of you who are hitting your bottles this weekend, here's some cool, exciting, simple drinks for you to make with your friends and family. Alrighty, let's get started. So, first thing I wanna talk about is what we have in front of us right here. So, as you can see here on the left, we've got some basic bar materials I've got here. I'm gonna put them up short. You can see a little better. You got your basic bar materials. I got this particular set from West Elm if anyone's interested in buying the same one. But yeah, here we've got your basics, your muddler, which we're gonna be using. We've got a stir. We have a jigger, is actually the name of this. Yes, like Jay-Z, Jigga J, Jay-Z, this is a jigger. It's the best way to be able to tell how much alcohol or just liquid that you're putting into a glass on a consistent basis. I personally let the spirit guide me when it comes to pouring my drinks for me and my friends at home, but it's up to you. This is what the jigger is for. You pour liquid in and you pour it into your glass. And the larger side, I think, is 1.75 ounces, and the smaller size is usually 0.75 ounces. So we've got 2 strainers, one right here if you want to strain any excess liquid, and then another solid strainer if you're interested, and it comes with a little bottle opener for you as well. Buy any bar set from Amazon or West Elm or just any cute store. I'm really a big fan of this one. But yeah, these are the materials you're initially gonna use. We're also gonna be using some ginger ale, some water. We've also got ingredients over here. We've got some mint, we've got some orange peels, we've got bitters, we've got an orange for aesthetics, and we've got a little bit of sugar for our first drink, which is going to be an old fashioned. So let me tell you a little bit about an old fashioned. It's exactly what it sounds like. I think it's called an old fashioned because it was made such a long time ago. Old fashions have been being made, I think, traditionally since the 1700s, if you can believe it. So it's an old drink and it's pretty straightforward. It makes up of 3 ingredients. You've got your whiskey, some ice, some sugar, a couple of bitters, and an orange peel to taste and for a garnish. And for those of you who have never worked with bitters or used bitters before, bitters are basically 50%-ish alcoholic content, but it's not like a fine spirit itself. You basically use it to flavor other drinks. It's usually a combination of different spices that have been pushed together and pressed into what you get here, which are bitters. And they come in a lot of different flavors. This particular bitters is Angostura, which are very popular for whiskey sours, or excuse me, very popular for old fashions. Yeah, and we're just gonna use a couple of bites of this. These ones are flavored orange, which is perfect. All right, let's get right into it. So first thing we're gonna do to make our old fashioned is we're going to take our mixing contraption, whatever it is, and we're going to do a tablespoon of sugar. I said it at the beginning, but I usually let the spirit guide me when it comes to stuff like this. So that to me is going to be a teaspoon. I said a tablespoon, I meant to say a teaspoon of sugar. Then I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here and stir it until the sugar all dissolves. So let's go ahead and stir that up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but the sugar is mostly, dissolved at this point. So now that my sugar is dissolved, I'm going to add my bitters. I'm only gonna add 3 or 4 drops of bitters in here. So I'm gonna open my bitters. And again, this one's orange flavored, which is perfect. It even has like a little bottle thing, so it makes it easier to do drops instead of pouring a whole bunch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. I didn't like how secure those pours were. I wanted a little bit more. I didn't want a little drip. I wanted the full kit and caboodle. Alrighty. So So now that the bitters, the water, and the sugar are all mixed together, I'm going to add some bourbon. So this is a really important thing. Everyone should drink. The best drink is a drink you're actually gonna drink. So if you're a person that does not like bourbon, does not like rye whiskey, does not like whiskey at all, and wants an old fashioned with tequila, all of these things are possible. All the options are on the table. For me today, I'm gonna give this a shot with the way it's, I guess, air quotes, traditionally made with some bourbon. Today I'm using Jim Beam bourbon. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in here. And again, you can use the jigger if you're trying to be really cautious about how much alcohol you're adding, because as you can see, it's easy to spill. For me personally, I want a little bit more, so we're gonna use the larger side. Pour that in. Next, I'm going to go grab some ice. Alrighty, my ice machine isn't working, of course, so I took an ice cube that I had hanging around and I put it in here. Then we are going to shake it. Now beware. Always, 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 don't be like me. Use 2 hands when you're shaking these. I used 1 hand before trying to be fancy and spilled this drinks all over myself on multiple occasions. So with 2 hands, you're gonna shake it like this. Now, one warning about shaking like this, if you're gonna use not a glass container, because the temperature is changing so quickly inside of the glass, you can see it's even leaking a little bit, sometimes it can make the cap really difficult to remove. This one's really smooth right now, so I'm just gonna quickly remove it, but just beware. That's something I wanna warn people about. So, really cool thing about this, it has a strainer already in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and strain this into my chilled glass with my large ice cube inside of it. Let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, and we have a very simple old fashioned. So before we say, oh my gosh, and we're done, and that's all she wrote, we're gonna take some orange peels and we are going to twist it right here. We're gonna, as I spill over myself, twist it over the drink so that we can get some of those aromas out. This particular orange is very fragrant, so I can smell it a lot. And there you have it. We have a very simple, in my opinion, kind of watered down old fashioned. So I'm actually going to break a rule here. I'm gonna add a little bit more bourbon. I like my drink strong. Off the top. Amen. And here you have an old fashioned. That's our first drink. Cheers, let's try it. Not too shabby. Cheers. Alrighty friends, moving right along. Our next drink is going to be the mint julep. So the mint julep, funnily enough, is actually the go-to drink of the Kentucky Derby. It's their signature drink. I like them. They're very southern, they're very sweet. They got a little bit of attitude with the whiskey in them, and they are made up of a pretty straightforward amount of ingredients. You're gonna use 8 mint leaves. You're going to use whatever alcohol you want, whiskey you want, whatever whiskey you want, and you're going to use a little bit of simple syrup, which I have right here on the bar. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to muddle the cleaned, the cleaned mint leaves. I'm gonna throw them in here. And you can include the stem if you want. It doesn't really matter that much. Like either way, you're getting the point. And you're going to include a little bit of simple syrup. A little bit of simple syrup. Like I said, I let the spirit lead me when I come to making my drinks. You're gonna muddle them together. So you're gonna use the muddler and you're gonna get in here. It smells so good, oh my God. It smells like summer. Now, I think I'm going to add my bourbon. You can also add bitters to this too. Some people do, some people don't. Personally, I don't want to. And I think this would taste beautiful with the rye whiskey I have from Beyonce. So I am going to use the muddler, the jigger. Again, we're gonna pour a little bit in here. I'm gonna pour it out right here. I'm going to grab some ice. We got a little bit of ice. We got our mint and our simple syrup and our whiskey. We're gonna shake it up with 2 hands. Like I said, that part's important. We're gonna open it up. We are going to take our chilled glass and ice and pour our mint julep over it. You know, I usually like these strainers, but the reason why we have separate strainers is sometimes we don't have the patience for like, how about this? I don't have the patience to like do this. So we're gonna put the strainer right on top here and we're gonna pour over. There we go. We're going to add just a sprig of mint in here. And there we have our mint julep. Let's taste it. Ooh, that's nice. It's smooth. It's got a little bit of a push to it. It's sweet. I love this. For our whiskey drinkers, give this one a try. Mint julep, cheers. Alrighty, on to our next one, the whiskey sour. So for this one, we need a couple more ingredients. So I actually have some egg whites that I've separated. We have some fresh lemon juice, and that is it for now. So the ingredients for a whiskey sour are actually pretty straightforward, thankfully. So all you really need is some simple syrup. I'm gonna pour a little bit of simple syrup. We're gonna do a little bit of lemon juice. We're going to do a little bit of egg white. Now, if you're like me and a little bit anxious about egg whites in your drink writ large, I would just measure a little bit out. I'm gonna do that right here. Measure out my egg whites a bit and put it in here. If you are worried about like contamination or salmonella or anything, because you are putting raw egg inside of your drink, I would personally say don't worry about it too much, because we do have like quite a high amount of alcohol in these drinks. I wouldn't worry so much personally. I'm actually gonna use some Uncle Nearest for this whiskey sour. And like I said earlier, I let the spirit lead me when it comes to the strength of my drinks. We added a little bit of ice. We're going to put the cap on and the other cap on down here, and we're gonna shake it up. So whiskey sours are usually put into, they can be put into a regular low ball glass, but I'm gonna put it actually in a coupe glass, because that is often how it is served. I got these super cute coupe glasses. And so yeah, instead of pouring it over ice, I'm just gonna pour it directly into my chilled coupe glass. So let's shake up our drink. Yep, and that egg white is gonna give it like a foamy look on top. That's what the egg white does, but also you can make a perfectly fine whiskey sour without egg white, like not a requirement. And there we have a whiskey sour. Let's taste it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love this. Oh, it's got a little bit of a bite too. I love it with the Uncle Nearest. Cheers. This is a whiskey sour. And for our final drink, it's so straightforward. I'm not even gonna put it into our mixer. I'm just gonna pour it straight into a highball, and it is actually a whiskey highball. So it's called a highball because usually the glass that it's put in is a highball, which is this higher top drink that you see here. And it's only made of 2 ingredients. Your sparkly sweet beverage of choice. I'm using ginger ale. You can use ginger beer, whatever you want. If you really want a strong one, you can use some, what's the word I'm looking for? Club soda, which doesn't have a lot of sweetness to it, but I'm a sweet girl. I like the sweetness. And you know what? I like how smooth and sweet the Sir Davis is, so I'm gonna go to it once again as our mixer. I put it into my iced highball glass with a little bit of ice in it. And as you can see, I had a hefty pour here, so it was kind of a lot. So I'm gonna pour a little bit more ginger ale in to help balance it. And it's pretty. Alrighty, let's give it a taste. And once again, if you're a whiskey drinker, which I am not, but this is really nice. It's really, really nice with the Sir Davis. So give it a shot. And these are the 4 basic whiskey drinks if for anyone at home interested in trying some whiskey drinks. I'm gonna be doing more of these for all my different drinks. We're gonna be doing one for tequila, for vodka, and for pretty much every mixed drink. Please like and subscribe if you want more content like this. This is so much fun for me, but I love hearing how much this might be impacting all of you. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into Sommelier. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening with your whiskey drinks. Cheers and bye for now.